Welcome to the Canadian Apprenticeships Forum live web series, Skilled Trades Opportunities for Women. My name is Racine DeBartolo, and I will be your host today. Before we get started, I wanted to share a few housekeeping items. To ensure an enjoyable webinar experience and to reduce background noise, all attendees will be muted for the duration of the webinar. If you have questions, please enter them through the webinar control panel, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and we will make it available on our YouTube channel following the broadcast. Please feel free to share your thoughts during today's webinar by tweeting to us at CAF or on Facebook at CAF Apprenticeship. The Canadian Apprenticeship Forum is a nonprofit organization that collaborates with apprenticeship stakeholders across Canada to develop research insights and promote apprenticeship training. The Forum is hosting this series of webinars to help women living in Canada learn more about opportunities in the skilled trades industry. We continue with part 3 of our series with Bob Larocque, Vice President of Environment, Climate Change and Labour with the Forest Products Association of Canada. Bob will review the Greenest Workforce Job Match tool. Job seekers can browse available jobs, register to become part of a searchable talent bank to help them apply and get matched with positions. The tool is free to use and a great addition to any job search strategy. It's also a great new recruitment tool for employers. Welcome, Bob.
Well, thank you, Racine, and the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum for this initiative to encourage women to consider career in the skilled trades. The Forest Product Association of Canada recently launched this greenestworkforce.ca to help encourage all Canadians to join, but we are also in 2017 going to be making some specific efforts to try to encourage more women. So presently in the forest sector, our workforce is comprised of about 15% women, but we do believe that we can increase that over the years to come, and looking forward to all of you today to learn more about the Greenest Workforce. So the greenestworkforce.ca was initially launched in February 2012 and provided some information about the sector, but was totally upgraded with some job matching tool and opportunities to find exactly where the job locations were and more information about careers in June 2016. So today I'll be spending about 30 minutes going over an overview of the tool itself, and then looking forward to any questions following the presentation. So, just to start, we were just fixing some IT stuff here. One of the first thing on the tool itself that could be very useful is the career types. In the forest products industry, we hire a lot of different types of employment opportunities from woodland, science and engineering, administration, mill operations, and skilled trades. And today we'll be focusing on skilled trades. So as you can see, we are about 12 to 15 different type of skilled trades. And by clicking on one of those, it will provide you with some information on what are we looking for a millwright in our sector, the type of education and career needed, and in this case we do require the red seal. Also some information about apprenticeship grants, and as well as some bullets or information about if this job is right for you. On top of that, which the forest sector being in a lot of rural communities, we're trying to provide Canadians with some information about cost of living where the forest industry is located. So for example, I'm in Ottawa, and I would be working in a lumber mill in Kenora, Ontario. So I'm just going to go to Kenora very quickly. And all this information is based on Stats Canada census information. And the tool provides an overview of a typical average home value and or rents, as well as commute time. And as you can see, the cost of living in Kenora is a lot less than the cost of living in Ottawa. So that's additional information that we're trying to provide for some of you listening today who would like to maybe leave some of the big urban centers and go and do an apprenticeship in some of the rural communities for the forest industry. Some additional information regarding your cost of living. The tool itself also provides real live blogs So over the last 2 years, we've had the Green Dream internship, and that provides an internship program for 10 people across Canada. We are about 1,000 different interns, but this one is a very specific one where we offer a scholarship of $1,000 to the winners, and they have to blog during the summer. And we have some of them, like Bailey, for example, who worked in Alberta in the woodlands and did a lot of cool stuff like flying helicopters from a forestry perspective jobs. And we also have Caroline, who's actually working in as a laborer in a plywood mill. So provides a mill environment and a lot of how she felt working for the forest industry. So if you have any more information, you can just click on view all like this, and you can see all of the blogs that Caroline did over the summer about all kinds of different aspects of her employment. We also provide some career profiles in the videos. And on this one, we're trying to provide different information about your environment or your life, and also the welcome home aspect of it, of what does it mean to work in the forest industry. And also some very specific job profile related to, so for this one, it was Shayna, who worked as a forestry student, and also Colleen, who's a process engineer for one of the mills out east. So some interesting information about what they do day to day. So if you need any more information, you can go ahead and look at those videos. So this is providing information about our sector and the top types of jobs you have. But where are the jobs located? And in order to find this, you can go to find a job in advanced search. We're just double checking something on the webinar. Okay, and as part of the advanced search, you can look at skilled trades, and you would just go and search jobs. And the map will be providing you with a list of open jobs that are currently available for skilled trades. So for example, there's 31 jobs in British Columbia, 10 in Alberta, and 4 in Ontario. But those are the jobs that are available today. What this tool does also is that at any time during tomorrow or next week, if a company posts a job, the system automatically gets updated. So it's a good tool to go look at maybe once every 2 weeks or so. To be able to find the types of employment or which one of the skilled trades are currently open if looking at not sure between a millwright or electrician of where you live. And to give you more example of the skilled trades jobs, I will click on the first one, an heavy-duty mechanic. The location, that will be in Vanderhoof, a job description and some information about the company, the type of duties you'll be doing, the qualifications required, and then you can just go click on apply now, and that automatically you would attach your resume, or you can create one on the Greenest Workforce, and then the company receives your application. So it's fairly easy if you are looking for a job and you've completed your apprenticeship. The tool can also be used very similarly for those companies who do offer skilled trades full-time position. They also offer apprenticeship. And in order to look at those, I strongly recommend people to go look at the list of the employers. And I will pick Canfor again, just because they had an open job. And you would click on current openings. And this will be able to provide you some information with all of their pulp or softwood lumber operation, for example, where skilled trades are in demand. So for someone who's in the apprenticeship field, if you're looking for a sponsor from employment or something like that, you can go and contact the facility directly, or even at the careers@canfor.com, where they will, the human resource department will be able to answer some of your questions on the potential apprenticeship or sponsorship. So that tool is available, or the View Employers has it for most of the major companies across Canada. Also, in order to look at providing you with what you would have to do, you would go into a logging page, which I've already logged in just before the webinar to save some time, but it would require you just to put an email and a password of your choosing. And then as soon as you would be coming in, you would be getting your dashboard account, as you can see here. What the tool provides is a bit of a profile, so who you are, where you're located, some messages if you end up being contacted by a company, setting up your email, and then in the end, if you do so desire, you're able to also delete your account. But today I'll be focusing on the job matching aspect of your account and the finding a job. In order to be able to job match you, there's two things that are very critical that the system provides is the location. So we really ask you as you're setting up your account to tell us where you would like to work. So in this case, this person would only like to work in Ontario. But you could also click any provinces that you would like to work. So if by clicking all of Canada, the system will match you with jobs available all across Canada. If you only want to work in Ontario or Southern Ontario, just please click on that region, and that's how the system works. We also require the career type. So in this case, previously for another webinar, we had set it up as a chemical engineer, but I will today go and set it up as skilled trades. And if some of you are looking at doing more than one skilled trades, you can add more than one. So you could be a electrical mechanic, and I will also add an electric heavy-duty equipment technician. Those systems or those skilled trades name, if you want, are all based on the Employment and Social Development Canada's classification system. So that's why we're trying to provide more than one title, because some of you may not know these titles as they are written here, but they're the same type of information as the government provides us. And then the other important information is your experience and skills. There we would require, if you're an apprentice, you can put your apprentice and how many hours you've done or at least years of experience, the highest level completed depending on where you're at. And then do you have your Red Seal or not, or you're a journeyman or not, the type of language, are you French, English, bilingual, at what level. And then we also ask the profile people to include we call them skill sets, which are they're different than skills related directly to an apprentice. It's who you are as a person. So do you have any management skills, interpersonal skills, initiative and resourcefulness, analytical or technical skills? And we do ask that you only select 10 out of the 30. And then what the system does is that the employers are also picking 10 out of 30 for the posting that they want to put. And then the system will match both from your skill set, your location, and the type of jobs you're looking for, and what the company is looking for. And if there is a match of 50% or greater, the employee, if you want, or the job seeker will receive a job matching notification that you've been matched with a posting, as well as the employer receives a notification that there is someone in the data talent bank that matches the same kind of skill set. And that allows both either the job seeker or the employer to communicate with each other. So as a job seeker, you can just go and view the job and apply now. And as an employer, you can actually communicate with the job seeker for either setting up an interview or follow-up phone call or conversation. The other thing that will be very useful for you is if you do find a job that you're interested in and you do get a notification and you want to apply, you can very easily just either create or upload a resume. So by clicking this, you can upload a resume just by clicking this button, and it goes into your web browser, and you can attach as many resumes as you want. And if you don't have one, you can create one. And in this case, all of the information that is in the profile has been updated automatically for you. And then you can put in your career objectives, your overview. You can also add information about all your employment history, so years experience, if you had a part-time job, education. Again, same information that was based on your profile, but then you can add what school you went to, and other information such as volunteer work, awards, achievement, affiliation, interest, references. And the skills which you've already filled out when you did your profile. So both sides are linked. You can have more than one resume, like I mentioned. So in this case, I only have one, but you can have 4 or 5. And when you go and apply now, the system will ask you to select which resume you would like to attach to your job posting. Because in certain cases, you might be applying for a millwright job, But if you have dual certification from your apprenticeship, and in other cases you might be applying to an electrician job, therefore you can select whichever resume you wish. Application history will provide you with some information on where you've applied in the past. The company watch list, again, if you were interested and you were living in British Columbia, for example, and you were aware that you've contacted Canfor and there might be an opportunity for apprenticeship, you can follow Canfor. Or if you're out east and you know some of the big companies such as Resolute, you're able to just go and select Resolute, and you can follow them and either view their jobs or go look at their company profile. And lastly, if we are in a rural area and we are having, I guess one of the biggest barriers that we are facing today for apprenticeship in the forest sector is to have some apprentice actually move to the rural areas. But sometimes you might have a family or a spouse also that would like to relocate with you. We do provide a spousal or family relocation tool, which is fairly simple. It would either be if your spouse or family has very similar skill sets, like a skilled trades, for example, or any of the other employment opportunities we're looking for. They can join the Greenest workforce, and you can just link each other. But if also your spouse or family is working in a different field, such as a teacher or in the health system, you can just provide their name and phone number, email address, and what they do and their years of experience, because in a lot of circumstances the forest product industry is one of the main employers in town, and they're members of Chamber of Commerce, and they would know the hospital or the education, and they might be able to direct your spouse or family member to help them out find a job in the community you'd be moving as you're doing your apprentice, and hopefully stay and work in the company for a long time. So those are all kinds of tools that we're trying to provide to try to bring more apprentice and skilled trades in the forest product industry. I would also like to mention that skilled trades is one of the types of employment, if you wish, that is the hardest to find in the forest product sector. That with science and engineering, it's very common in our sector to have a skilled trade job open for 4 to 6 months and we're without being filled. So in many cases, I do recommend that if you're just completing your apprenticeship or you're almost done, to do contact the sector. We may prefer to have someone who's got 5 to 10 years experience, but since it's very hard to have them, please, I recommend that you do apply even if you have 1 or 2 years or you're just completing your apprenticeship. And the last part of the tool that I want to show today we're just looking at potential questions. It's called the labor market information. I do realize that some of you might be still at the apprenticeship level, and you may be wondering where are the jobs available in Canada in the next 3 to 5 years. So you can just go here on forecast, and the tool is based on all of Canada, so lots of information. Right now the systems provide information on total employment in Canada, but we can also do it by openings or vacant position. So you can go Canada-wide. We're looking at 9,000 potential employment opportunities in 2017, which is about 2,500 in British Columbia, which we have, if you remember the map that I was showing, there was both north and south, so I'll just select north. And for today, the interest is in the skilled trades. And in Norton, British Columbia, we will be looking in 2017 for 13 carpenters, 4 electrical mechanic, 11 heavy-duty mechanic, and you can see it. So in our sector, you can see that in the next 2 or 3 years in North BC, that the millwrights, the industrial electrician, and heavy-duty mechanic would be the types of employment the most in demand in the next 2 years. And the trend seems to be very similar in North British Columbia till 2020. But the system is based on the different types of companies and the different types of jobs, so it may not be the same results if you were be looking, for example, in Ontario. And I will go into North Ontario, Thunder Bay area, skilled trades. As you can see, the heavy-duty mechanic is still needed, but the millwright is very dominant in the next 5 years in Northern Ontario. So the system is reactive on the labor market. It's reactive if there's a certain field that people do get in more in the next year or two. The system will change and accept that, and it's modified every day depending on the job openings, and then twice a year depending on the internal survey or general economic considerations such as the value of the Canadian dollar. Since we're a huge export business, that has a difference on the employment for the forest sector. So this today concludes the presentation that I have. Thank you very much for this 20-25 minutes to demonstrate the new Greenest Workforce tool. And I will pass it on just to Racine for final comments, and after that I'm open for the next 30 minutes or so to answer any questions relating to the forest sector, apprenticeship in general, or specific questions about the tool itself. Thank you again.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Bob, for taking the time to share this wonderful information and tool with us today. As Bob mentioned, we do have time to answer a few questions. So if you do have a question, please answer them through the webinar control panel. Great. So the first question we're going to ask is this also for job? Is the Greenest Workforce tool? Is this also for job seekers that are wanting to be an apprentice but have little or no experience?
Yes, this can definitely can help you out. The tool is based on actually showing the apprentices opportunities, but in a lot of cases apprentices our companies do have a relationship with some of the trade schools, but it also sometimes we do sponsor people who do contact the company directly. So what I would suggest is if you want to be an apprentice and you're not sure, to use the labor market information to give you an idea of the type of apprenticeship that will be most in demand. For example, like I was showing millwright versus electrician. If you're sure about the type of apprentice you would like to do, my next recommendation is that go where you're located. So if you're in British Columbia or Ontario, go look within your area to see the companies that are operating within where close you are, and to contact them directly, or if you're part of the School of Trades, to contact some within their school, and they might have some links directly to some of our companies who are working. I know we have a lot of relationship with BCIT and the Alberta School of Trades, as well as Toronto, Ontario. So I think we have another one. The next question is, does the forest industry sponsor a lot of apprentice? And the answer is yes. I don't have the exact number, but I can tell you that it's in the high hundreds or close to 1,000 across Canada. We're very proud of we have a 95 to 98% completion rate in our sector. All of our apprentices are paid fully, like any other co-op students for engineering, for example. And so we were very proud of that, and with a 95% completion rate, people typically would stay in the forest industry. And being in a rural area, it is extremely important for us to bring the people up, make sure that they learn and they feel very comfortable and safe, because we really want to keep the apprentices in our sector. I'm just waiting for a couple more questions. Okay, so I got another one that just came in, and what are some of the most common barriers faced by women in the forest industry? I think some of the barriers for us is being in a rural area. I think it applies to both women and men, but we've heard through different analysis and surveys that we've done that moving away from the urban centers such as Vancouver, Calgary, Montreal if you want, and then to go work in Fort St. James or Slave Lake in Alberta could be a bit of a challenge. So that's one of the barriers that we have, and that's why to try to address those, we were very proud of some of the government funding program that were recently announced, and that they're much quicker for opportunities. So people do have to, sometimes they'll have to rents or additional funding. The fact that we do pay our apprentice well, and that because we want to keep them there. So those are some of the barriers faced. Also, there is some of the family issues that are being faced for rural areas. So a lot of our companies have some interesting benefits, if you want. Some of them offer some flexible hours relating to daycare. Some of them have different, like instead of a 12-hour shift, you would do your hours. It may take you a little bit longer to do them, but they will provide them. For example, you would work 6 hours on, 6 hours off instead of the full 12 hours to allow some flexibility there. So those are some of the kind of interesting benefits, if you want, that the forest industry is looking at trying to address the barriers of, one, moving, and two, once you're at the mill. Another one that came in is what kind of tips could you share with apprentice when you're looking for employer sponsors? I think based on the experience I've had, and we have a HR committee, if you want, with the National Associations where we talk to employers across Canada. And one of the tips that I would have is to actually contact the company directly. Like I said, in certain circumstances, we do have great relationship with the trade schools. But sometimes we're looking for them and we're not sure where to look for, so we attend the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum, AGM, and National every year. We go to Skills Canada. So I think we were having a hard time finding the right people, if you want. So if you are absolutely interested, use the tool, and don't be afraid to contact the employer directly, saying that you're interested in an apprentice. Provide a bit of information of where you are. Are you in block 2 or 3? How many hours have you done so far, or none? You might be moving from a different provinces, for example, so just let us know where you were in the provinces that you used to be located and you're moving now. And then like we do hire hundreds or almost 1,000 apprentices across Canada, so I think the best tip I could share would be for you to contact the company directly. Number 2 is there's also a lot of budget funding opportunities, if you want. We are trying to work on providing a lot of information about the potential funding available to help apprentices out. We know it's not easy. So another tip is that if a financial burden is something that's on your mind, there's a lot of funding available out there, and CAF has a lot of resources that can help you out. But we also have a small booklet, or if you want a apprentice booklet, that the forest industry shares with our potential apprentices that demonstrate all the different funding opportunities, such as the grant or the tax break on the tools. Those are just some examples of what's available out there.
Great. Well, that looks like it seems to be all of the questions for now. If you do have any other questions, like I said, please feel free to enter them into your control panel. In the meantime, I'd really like to thank Bob again for his time and expertise and efforts to help women in Canada explore opportunities in Canada's forestry sector. We'll be sure to make Bob's contact information available after the webinar. And again, the webinar has been recorded, so we'll be sending you a recording or a link to the recording after the webinar as well. So thanks so much again, Bob. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to I just want to let you know about our Skilled Trades Network. For more resources to help women explore opportunities in the skilled trades, please visit CAF's Skilled Trades Network, an online community for centralized information and shared experience. The goal is to help apprentices find employer sponsors and to engage employers in learning about the business case to hire apprentices. Our Ask the Expert tool is also available and allows apprentices and those interested in the trades to ask questions and obtain answers from experts in their field. The goal is to help individuals overcome barriers and move forward with their apprenticeship. Lastly, don't forget to join us on or join our social media community to stay in the know of the latest in Canada's apprenticeship news, events, and trends. Thank you to everyone who participated in today's webinar. Be sure to join us next week for the final installment of our series, Women, Trades, and Trucking, A New Perspective. Thanks again, everyone, and have a wonderful afternoon.